So today we discuss on nanoparticle. Nanoparticles means they are very small in size. It's very important topic in pharmacy. So today we learn introduction. In afterwards we learn application, their advantages and disadvantages, ideal characteristics, their method of preparation, characterization, evaluation, and recent advancements of nanoparticle and commercial products of nanoparticle, and last but not the least application. So first of all, moving towards the introduction. So nanoparticles are very nano size collided structure composed of synthetic or semi synthetic polymers. Its size range is 1 to 100 nanometer. Nanoparticles is a very small size. uh, Microparticle is also very large size, but nanoparticles are very small size. There are two types of nanoparticle. One is nanosphere and second is nanocapsule. So today we learn about there are one by one. So first is nanosphere. Nanosphere means matrix systems. You know what is the matrix system? There are such type of system. This is there are two type of there are you say there are two type of drugs and polymers are mixed. This is known as a matrix system. Here you can see what is the nanosphere. Nanosphere means there is a drug and there is a polymer matrix. These are both are in our tablet is known as a nanosphere. So next we move toward the nanocapsule. Nanocapsule is a reservoir system. What is reservoir system? Reservoir system means in that nanocapsule there is composed in a drug, and there is a polymer membrane also, and there is an inner core is known as a nanocapsule. So you understand what is the reservoir. So we learn about nanosphere and nanocapsule. Next we move towards the there are application. In the nanoparticle there are n number of application, but most of the important applications are these are very important application. First is a textile, second is a biomedical, third is a healthcare, fourth is a food agriculture, fifth is a industrial, sixth is electronics, seventh is environment, and eighth is the renewable energy. There are here you can see there are a lot of nanoparticles applications you learn from this PPT. So we next move towards there are advantages. Nanoparticles are very uniform in size, so their effect also is the same. So first advantage is more uniform effect of the drug. So second advantages of this is reduction in the frequency of the dosage. There are reduction of the frequency of the dosage. And third is site specific targeting. Nanoparticle is you select at a single target, and that target they are specific selected, and they target to that place. And fourth is the various routes of administration. Nanoparticles you give in IV route, oral route, any route you can give the uh, administration. So better, and last one is the better drug utilization and less side effects. There are most of the better drug utilization, and there are so many less side effects. Next we move towards the disadvantages. Nanoparticles is very very important, but also so disadvantages are here. There is a very high cost, and their productivity is more difficult, and reduced ability of adjust the dose, and highly sophisticated technology, and require the skill manufacturer. Any person who has completed their degree and preparation of nanoparticle is not possible. So here we require the very skilled manufacturer person, and difficult to maintain stability of dosage form. The nanoparticles are very less in size, so their stability maintain is very difficult. So there are two types of polymers used in the nanoparticles. First one is a natural hydrophilic, and second one is a Synthetic hydrophobic. So hydrophilic means what? Philic means, philic means water loving. So there are two examples here are given: proteins and polysaccharide. There are number of examples, but here are given only two examples. And synthetic hydrophobic means they are water hating polymers. So here we can see example: polyester and polystyrene. There are number of ideal characteristics of their nanoparticle. It should be biochemical inert. Biochemical means biologically or chemically they are very inert, and there is a non-toxic and non-immunogenic. It should be stable both physically and chemically, and in vivo and in vitro conditions also. Restrict drug distribution of non-target cell or targets or organs should have a uniform distribution. They are very less in size, so they are distributed in very uniformly. Controllable and predict rate of drug release. And so there are very less size, so you can control under control, and they are predict the very rate of drug release. So drug release should be not affect the drug actions and specific therapeutic amount of drug release. You selected the only 1 mg drug release, then they only release the only 1 mg of drug, and the other drug is not releasing, so there is very beneficial. Carriers use must be biodegradable. In the nanoparticle we use the carrier, there are biodegradable, and they are eliminated from the body without any problem, and no carrier induced modulation and disease rate. The proportion of delivery system should be easy or reasonable, simple and reproducible, and cost effective. These are the ideal characteristics of nanoparticle. Here we can see the method of preparation. There are number of method of preparation, but we see some method of preparation. There are very important. First is amphiphilic macromolecules cross linking. First is heat cross linking, and second is a chemical cross linking. Second is a polymerization method. First is emulsion polymerization, dispersion polymerization, interfacial condensation polymerization, interfacial complexation. You remember this technique because these techniques are very important. I round up this technique, these are very important. Third is a polymer precipitation method. In that there are three methods are there: solvent evaporation method, solvent displacement method, and salting out method. These three also are very important method. You remember this. So first we move toward the molecular cross linking in emulsion. In the molecular cross linking emulsion, you take the aqueous protein and you take the surfactant. These two portion we take, and then other side you take the aqueous phase distilled water and stabilizer. When we are mixed with both of these, and with the high pressure homogenization or high frequency sonication, so we get the oil and water emulsion. When we dilute with the preheated oil in the heat in the 100 degrees celsius, or we add the cross-linking agent, any cross-linking agent. Cross-linking agent, there are many examples of cross-linking agent. You search on Google, you get the result. So we get the centrifugation of isolation of nanoparticle. This method is known as the molecular cross-linking in emulsion. So next we move toward the polymerization method. We already told there are polymerization method. There are two: micellar nucleation and polymerization, and homogeneous nucleation and polymerization. In the micellar nucleation, monomer is insoluble in the continuous phase and aqueous phase. And homogeneous nucleation, in monomer is soluble in continuous phase and organic phase. So micellar nucleation and polymerization, in that we take the monomer means a single unit of the polymer, and we take the drug. Then we add the catalyst and we give the monomer supply. When we monomer droplet add, then we get the micelles. When these micelles with stabilize the polymeric and nucleated micelle, then we get the nanospheres. So we next move on to the homogeneous nucleation and polymerization. This is also very simple method. We take the activated monomer, then we got the oligomer. When we oligomer, then they are converted into primary particle, and this primary particle, when we add the surfactant, then we get the stabilized polymeric nanosphere. Dispersion polymerization, this is also very simple method. We take the first monomer, then we add the activated monomer, then we give the oligomer. When we added the primary particle, then we get the most of the particle, then we add the surfactant, and we get the stabilized polymeric nanosphere. So here is an example of here is the example of we take the dispersion polymerization. So here we can see acrylamide or methyl methacrylate monomer is dissolved in aqueous medium. Then we add the chemical initiation. There are two type, ammonium or potassium peroxo disulfide. Sorry, there is not type, there is example. Then we heat the above 65 degrees Celsius, then oligomer are aggregate or precipitate, and then we get the isolation of nanosphere. So next method is the interfacial polymer condensation. In that method we take the core plus drug and polymer phase. These two we take and then we mix with the polymer phase, then we get the polymer oil in water emulsion. Then we add the non-solvent which precipitate out polymer from either of phase, then we give the nanocapsule. This nanocapsule are 13 to 300 nanometer. Next we move toward the polymer precipitation method. This polymer precipitation method is, there is a three types: solvent evaporation method, solvent displacement method, and salting out method. So first we see the solvent precipitation method. This is also very simple method. We take this organic phase. There are number of examples. We search on Google, you get the idea. And solvent drug polymer, then we add the aqueous phase, distilled water stabilizer, and sonication and homogenization. Then we get the oil in water emulsion. Then we add the solvent extraction. Then we get the nano sphere or nano capsule. Solvent displacement, this is also two type of nanosphere or nano capsule is get in that method. First we take aqueous phase, distilled water, and polaxome or 188. Then we add the organic phase, polar solvent, oil polymer plus drug. This is organic phase. Then with the magnetic stirring, this is same step in both of the nanosphere and nano capsule. These are taken, and here also we take the polymer plus drug and we get the nano capsule. Next step is the salting out of polymer. This is a important method. Organic phase, solvent drug polymer we take, and the aqueous phase, distilled water, PVA plus MgCl we take. Then we stir with a highly homogenizer, and then we get the oil in water emulsion. Then we add the distilled water, and then we give the nanoparticle. These are very simple step we take easily, and when you learn from this PPT, you get uh, very easily understand, and you get very best knowledge. So now we see the evolution of nanoparticle. These are very important, they asking very time in the exam. So we first take see particle size. We count, measure the particle size. Photon correlation spectroscopy for smaller particle. Those are smaller particle. We measure the size from photon correlation spectroscopy. Then second is laser diffractometry for larger particle. And third is electron microscopy. And fourth is a transmission electron microscopy. This is a easier method and permit differentiation among nanocapsule and nanoparticle. Atomic force microscope, laser force microscope, scanning electron microscope, there are a high resolution microscope. Next these are a video you can see from YouTube. This link is I posted in description. Second is the density. We you know the gas pygnometer, we measure the density from pygnometer or helium or air using molecular weight gel permission chromatography. For this molecular weight we use, and structure and crystallinity we use the X-ray diffraction method. There are three diffraction method, differential scanning, calorimetric, thermal analysis, and thermogravimetry. Surface charges of particle can be determined by measuring the particle velocity in electrical field. So in vitro release, diffusion cell, in that diffusion cell there are phosphate buffer are used, is very easy to learn. And for nanoparticle yields, we measure the percentage yield. So we take first actual weight of the product, and then we take the total weight of excipient drug, and then we multiply into 100, then we get the nanoparticles yield. Drug entrapment efficiency, for this also these are, you can see there is a formula, there is also you learn from this. So here you can see there are commercial products of nanoparticle. These are very important commercial products. First was Inzon, trade name is Iblac. Composition liposomal amphotericity and indication for fungal infection, and this is given by IV route. You can learn from this, all these are very important. So now we see the recent advances in nanoparticle. Solid lipid nanoparticle, this is very important, this is a very very demanded topic. Solid lipid nanoparticles are submicron colloidal carrier. There is 15 to 1000 nanometer, and there is composed of physiological lipid. Solid lipid nanoparticles used in colon cancer, brain cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, hepatoma cancer, and prostate cancer. So here you can see there is a very wide topic. So you learn in another lecture. And second is a dry powder aerosol. This method is also used in the lung cancer treatment achieved by using nanoparticle. Dry powder aerosol form is used. Here you can see formulation plus inhaler, then airflow, then they are lung this formulation inhaler deposit in the lung, and dissolution and absorption occurring in that type of the here. So application, there are number of application we see already, but there are main applications are here. These are used in cancer therapy, intracellular targeting, vaccine adjuvant, DNA delivery, and ocular delivery. These are here are the purposes of given, and material also, which material are used is also given. So these are the references we take from all this data from here. So you like it, please like and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.